Visa chaos. Over 1,000 international students lose legal status in widening crackdown. A sweeping policy shift under the Trump administration has resulted in more than 1,000 international students and recent graduates having their visas or immigration statuses revoked, with minimal explanation provided to affected universities. And a sweeping move that's left higher education institutions reeling. The Trump administration has revoked or terminated the immigration statuses of over 1,000 international students and recent graduates across the United States. The action, part of a broader immigration crackdown, has impacted students at more than 130 colleges and universities in 40 states, according to school officials and public statements. At Middle Tennessee State University, 6 students from various global regions, including Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, saw their visas revoked with no clear reason given. "We were only notified that the changes appeared in the Federal Monitoring Database," said university spokesperson Jimmy Hart, referring to the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, SEVIS. This lack of transparency appears to be widespread. Most schools learned of the changes only after independently checking SEVIS. Few were notified in advance, and even fewer were told the specific reasons for the visa terminations. At the University of Oregon, where international students lost their visa status based on unspecified criminal allegations, according to spokesperson Eric Howell. "We weren't given any prior notice or further details," he said. Whether students are required to leave the country immediately remains uncertain in many cases. The affected individuals include students at elite institutions, highlighting the breadth of the policy's impact. Statements from federal officials have been vague, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently stated that student behavior deemed disruptive, such as involvement in protests, could lead to visa revocation. "They're here to study, not to lead activist causes that disrupt our campuses," Rubio commented. The University of California, Los Angeles confirmed that 12 students or recent graduates were affected. Chancellor Julio Franks stated the revocations were attributed to alleged violations of visa program terms, though specifics were not disclosed. In response to these terminations, a federal lawsuit has been filed in Georgia on behalf of 133 international students from countries including India, China, Colombia, Mexico, and Japan. The students, represented by pseudonyms due to fears of retaliation, argue that their status was revoked without due process. The lawsuit targets several senior Trump administration officials and seeks both to halt the revocations and reinstate affected students. The complaint accuses Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, of abruptly and unlawfully stripping students of their legal status, thereby threatening their ability to study, work, and remain in the country. Plaintiffs face potential arrest, detention, and deportation as a result. According to Rubio, over 300 visas, primarily for students, with some for visitors, have already been canceled as part of this enforcement wave. One particularly high-profile case involves Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian activist and Columbia University graduate who, despite holding a green card, now faces deportation over alleged ties to a terrorist organization, part of a broader pattern of aggressive visa enforcement under the administration. As the legal battle unfolds, students and universities across the nation remain in the dark, with no clear roadmap for what comes next.